The Menendez Brothers. You know them. I know them. They are finally gonna be released. Is what I want to hear. Hopefully by the end of this year. Welcome to another episode of OTS. We are so glad you're here. Thank you for coming back. I am your introverted but extroverted host, David. And as I just mentioned, the Menendez Brothers, the infamous Menendez Brothers, we're going to talk about it. And, you know, I've seen all the videos. There's so much videos, right? Like their perspectives, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of, there's prisoners talking about it. There's all kinds of perspectives when it comes to the Menendez Brothers. And if you clicked on and you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure you know about it also. And there's just so many opinions, right? There's this opinion, that opinion. But I just wanted to, share my thoughts. I've looked into it, seen it, and, watched the interviews, watched the trials, and, of course, the Netflix series. And, I'm not saying that what I'm going to say is right, obviously. It's just an opinion. It's just my perspective, growing up in LA and the things that I've been through. I'm going to share a little more as we go into it. How I could kind of maybe relate, of course, not to that extent, but maybe I could share some of my personal experiences and, what I think that was going on in their heads, with all this happening. Okay. So let me start with the trial. Okay. We got some crazy updates, right? There is a chance, I don't know when this will air, but there is a chance that the Menendez brothers will be released. Hopefully, if we're talking about on a good day, hopefully by Thanksgiving. That will be crazy, right? They've been in there for like 30 plus years and they're like 50 plus years old now. And, the fact that at 2024 that they could be released by Thanksgiving, that's insane, right? And so I think because they've been fighting for so long, finally they came to a point by law and, through the DA and then hopefully Governor Gavin Newsom, hopefully he could kind of give that final call and release them. It's on him now, right? I'm not going to act like I know too much about the law, but from what they're saying is clemency, right? There's clemency and there's going to be another court date by December 11th. If they're not released by Thanksgiving, they're going to be released or they're going to have another court at the same Van Nuys court trial by December 11th from what I've been told. So we have hope and hopefully this clemency, I didn't even know what clemency was, honestly. I was like, what is a clemency? But I looked into it. It's like basically like a mercy note, like having mercy on them for, what they've done. Obviously, it's not right, but there is enough evidence, I think, at this point and just what they've gone through. And we'll get into all that, right? So hopefully the Menendez brothers, I am on their side, okay? I know this might cause a little storm, but I'm just gonna say it, okay? Because we off the script, all right? There's nothing so aligned, so there's nothing perfect. But it's just my opinion again, and I believe that they should be released. Okay, they're thinking about changing from murder to manslaughter because manslaughter, they've already done their time. It's way more than beyond manslaughter time. They've done it, 30 plus years in prison. If Governor Newsom changes it from murder to manslaughter, then they're gonna be officially released. Okay, they done their time. So we'll see. Governor, hey, you seen the Netflix series? You may be in tune with the Menendez brothers, obviously. Come on, man, let these boys out. They've done their time. They're old, I think it's about time that they get released. So hopefully by this year, 2024, the Menendez brothers, if they get released, hey, I hopefully I can see them. I want to see them. I want to congratulate them personally. But anyways, talking about the Menendez brothers, just again, everyone already knows their story, but I just want to kind of share what's in my mind and, what I've experienced watching it, the trials and the interviews and actually watching the Netflix, monsters. It's crazy, and look at it. Look at us. We're out here in Beverly Hills. It's only right that we do it out here because, again, we off the script, all right? There's nothing set in stone. Anything could happen, all right? So you guys always got to stay tuned because you don't know when the next episode is going to be. So anyways, look at this, man. We're in Beverly Hills, man. I kind of feel rich out here, but, I think it's only right because the event took place in Beverly Hills and they're rich, right? Incredibly rich. And so that's why I was even more shocked that when I first got into it, when I first heard about the Menendez brothers, I'm like, Okay, so they're in Beverly Hills and they got a shotgun and whooped their own parents. Like, that's crazy. I was like, what is there? Like a gang in Beverly Hills that I didn't know about or something? I was like, damn, it's crazy. But little that I knew that it was actual, there was obviously intention behind it. You can't ever, sugarcoat the fact that they got shotguns and blew up their parents multiple times. What, one in the face and all that, like reloaded and got them? Like, it's crazy, like how they went out their way. They took lessons, and I know, I get it, very, premeditated ish, but I just want to say this, okay? Now, if they really had that monster mentality, right? Like what everyone is portraying them to be, that these kids are actually monsters, I personally thought then they should have just got a knife. Why don't you just go at him and really, because I think that's like the best form of revenge, right? I mean, I'm not saying I would, but if I really hated and like really wanted to have them suffer and stuff like that, well, I get me a shank, Like, I'm not saying I do that now, but it's different if you stab somebody and if you just shoot somebody and that's it. What I think, because they have no street cred, right? As you guys seen on Netflix and all that, and the dramatization of it, they got the biggest thing that they could think of, and the thing that will, I guess, wipe them out. They didn't get a pistol. I get it. They just searched for the biggest weapon, which is a shotgun, right? And so, being that they killed them, they didn't even hide the body. They just left it there, and then they faked it, right? Because maybe they were kind of scared a little bit, right? Like, so they didn't even do that. They don't know what to do. They went on a shopping spree after, they slaughtered their parents, and they left traces, and Dr. Oziel, like it all led to him. And shout out to Dr. Oziel. If you ever watch this, you're amazing. Okay, you stood your ground. You hanged in with the boys. It's unfortunate, and I don't know how real or fake this was, but when it came to his ex-wife, it shows on the drama on Netflix about his ex-wife. At the end, she was the one that kind of caused she snitched, and I forgot her name, Julanda, whatever her name was. Okay, we don't care about her. But Dr. Oziel, you stood your ground. Lyles was gonna come at you, but you hanged in there. All you wanted to do was help. I think if Dr. Oziel did an amazing job, and even on Netflix, how they portrayed him, it was like really funny, man. Like you see him like kind of like the stand-up, guy, therapist and all that, and it was just kind of cool to see like how he handled the boys, and he was the only one that they could talk to, and unfortunately, because of that is what caused them to go to jail and prison. But I think I want to give a big shout out to you, Dr. Oziel, that you did an amazing job. Okay, and it's because of that dang wife, though. That one thing you did wrong was keeping that dang ex-wife around you. Okay, maybe that's the only thing you did wrong, but other than that, I don't know what I would have done if I was in your situation. So, anyways, so being that these two boys, right, they were sexually abused repeatedly. Now, I don't know what the extent of it was. From what they're saying is, there has been certain things that if you watch Netflix, they do go pretty deep. They go pretty detailed on what the father did to these boys. Some of them are like, like he had them perform oral sex and like used objects and fondled with them, taking showers and all these like crazy things. And it's pretty graphic, right? Like what they show, and what, if this was in fact true, what the dad did, it's pretty crazy. And at the same time, these things happen, man. Like, people are just that crazy. They're insane. And again, being sexually abused, unless you've been personally a victim also, I don't think you or myself have the right to really say who's right or wrong, because we don't know what these victims go through, their mental state, especially at a young age, man. Like, it's insane. I can't even fathom what they've gone through, what their mental state was as little kids, confused, angry, like, what am I, like, my identity, like, why is my dad doing this? There's so much questions to ask, right? And so I don't think people like us that maybe hasn't gone through such traumatic events, we don't really have the right. I get it. Again, my disclaimer is there's no sugarcoating to the fact that they got shotguns and blew up their parents. That's wrong. But other than that, what they've gone through, man, it's crazy, right? And if I can share just very briefly what I've personally gone through, It's not to the extent of their sexual abuse, but I've definitely got sexually abused too when I was younger. I think I was like, damn, at least middle school. There was this person who's is gonna be unnamed. I'm never gonna reveal who this was. It's all good, right? I'm old now, so I don't really care about that. And thankfully it wasn't, thank God it wasn't like a repeated, it was just one time, right? It was, I'm not gonna go too deep, but basically what happened was it was at an empty church. He took me upstairs and he did what he had to do, okay? But now what that did, I didn't feel scared. I mean, I was a little scared, but there was nothing that, like, I didn't like it obviously, but I think that kind of broke my innocence. I think that was like on the way, like that was kind of like an opening to things that kids shouldn't really be open to at that young of an age, right? And so a guy like me, when I was younger, going through that, I was definitely influenced off of that act that this person did to me at this empty church. So I was like, dude, man, like when I look back at it, I had a different mindset. When I looked at girls, it was different. When I, had my own like feelings that I had, it was different after that. My perspective starting to change, and it's just part of growing up though, man. Like we're men and women, we have feelings and stuff. It's nothing wrong. We're human, okay? There's nothing wrong to have certain feelings. It's fine. But it's what you do. And if you can't control it, and if you start becoming like this, you rely on this feeling, you need pleasure, then you got to be careful, okay? And so, and I just wanted to share that because that did that, that like changed sort of my trajectory, I would say. But imagine what these kids going through, let alone their own father. Like you can't be even safe at your own house, like, and your mother's kind of, I get it. It's very dysfunctional family, and I don't know what it's like. By the grace of God, I had parents and they took care of me, and I don't know what it's like to go through these crazy and horrific situations by your own parents. So, of course, these kids will want to do something. It's unfortunate that they had to take a gun. If it was me, I'd just catch a fade on them. You know what I'm saying? I'd say, Daddy, let's fight or something. Like I'm not going to get a gun or but again, who am I to say, you're wrong or you're right? Like, unless I'm literally in that same situation, I don't think I should have any part. But just based on what I saw and the stories, and I did watch the interview, watch the Barbara Walters interview, and let me just say something to you, Barbara. I don't know if she's still alive. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be funny or whatever, but Barbara, your questions were a little too intense, okay? These are some kids that at the time, 21 and 18, I believe, man, I know they killed them, but your questions were a little too intense, man. Like you need to understand that these kids have a different mindset. You got to be careful. You got to be sensitive, but I get it. And I watched it, and they said everything. They of course they were guilty because of the recordings. There's no way that they could turn back. But all these interviews and like the interview from prison, the phone call that they had, he eventually told everything, and we get it. Yep, it's true. They shot him, and but the innocence behind all that, I think, is the two brothers. Like I said in the beginning, is that they just got what the biggest weapon was, and a gun is easily, as a kid, that a gun will kill, right? A gun will get rid of things. The kids just wanted to get rid of the problem. I get it. It just happened to be a gun, But if you think about it, they didn't get a pistol. They didn't get a knife. Like I said, if they got a knife, that's a whole nother story. I think that changes everything. When a person gets a knife and has the intention to stab, I think that's worse than a shotgun. A shotgun is, man, I'm afraid of my parents, right? You saw the Netflix and all that. And again, I don't know how true this was, but basically the parents were going to kill them anyways. Like, and they wouldn't have gotten away with it, right? But they were in fear of their life. Call them monsters, call them arrogant, call them rich, ignorant kids. But man, I felt that they were in fear. And think about it. So they just got the biggest thing that they could find, that they could kill them instantly. And that was a shotgun. And as I mentioned before, sorry to go back and forth, but as I mentioned before, they didn't hide the body. They didn't do anything. They were kind of scared. They tried to fake it in the beginning. So that's their innocence, I think. As gruesome, as horrific as that sounds, what they did, I kind of see the innocence in that. Like, they're rich. They didn't grow up crazy. They don't have any street cred. Like, they don't know what it's like to get in a fight. Like, they don't know any better, right? So I could see that, it's a bit, it's rough. I get it, but I don't see them as monsters. I see them as a little arrogant, because what they've gone through. Lyle's, he's the big brother. He's the one that needs to take care of Eric, and I know he's kind of like this macho guy, and I think unfortunately he passed it down to Eric also, kind of, doing certain things. And again, what we've been hearing though is that Eric and Lyle's, I think they saw the Netflix, right, of themselves, and they're saying that they didn't really, appreciate it. Some things weren't true, and I'm just kind of thinking it's kind of funny if you think about it. Like, these boys were probably in prison watching their own Netflix series. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, I would be kind of like, like starstruck. I'm like, dude, someone actually made a whole documentary Netflix dramatization of me. But I would get it. If they did something that would kind of make my image a little worse and in a negative way, yes, I'll be mad too. But it was just kind of funny, like, how they were able to watch it. Like, I guess they do have some privileges, being that they're such infamous characters, and this happened so long time ago. The things that they did, I know it's crazy. It's very historic for a crime, So it's just crazy. And again, I'm not saying none of this is true, but I'm just trying to really get into the raw realness. Again, like I said, if you've never been in these situations, it's really hard to choose the side of their innocence, because all you see is, oh my gosh, these kids killed their parents with a shotgun. Of course, a regular human being would say that's absolutely wrong. No one should ever in life do that, let alone get a gun. Don't do that, right? But let's sit down and let's research. Let's think about you. Think about how can you relate? Like, do it one by one. Don't just go straight into, finding conclusions and like what based on your, subjective thought. Like, don't do that. Just like look into it, really get into the minds, and I'm just trying to have a good heart for them. They're old, and like now they're old, and just what they've gone through, what they've, with his dad. Let's talk about the dad. Like, the dad was, I guess, the main catalyst behind all this. He was the one that performed these, sexual abuse on his own children. And if it shows that he's actually his dad, Jose Menendez, his dad was the one that was kind of like also laying down all this stuff on him also. So I get it. He was traumatized too. He has damages in his mindset. And so therefore there's, he passed it down to his, his child. And being that he was in the music industry, y'all, what about Diddy, right? Diddy, I don't know what it is about the music industry. Y'all gotta be careful, okay? Please. I know there's a lot of stuff that goes down behind the scenes, making deals, record labels. Oh, you want to be famous, money gets involved. Man, please be careful, okay? I know it looks good on the outside, you want to be famous, but look, all dark things will come to the light one day. It took Diddy maybe like 20 plus years before he finally got caught. You will get caught, okay? So if you're watching this and you're into all this crazy, nasty stuff, y'all got to be careful now, okay? You will get caught. But I just wanted to kind of throw that in there because, all these things are happening that we have no idea. And, social media these days is crazy. So, I don't want to go too off the script, but coming back, I get it. He was into the music industry. He wanted to make money. The dad, Jose Menendez, wanted to be a politician, and he did whatever it took for him to rise to power. So therefore he had to, have a certain rule, a very strict rule for his kids. And if the kids didn't abide, then that was just his way of portraying discipline, and it's crazy. Like, and the mom, it was just a dysfunctional family. The mom was so in love with Jose because he was such a manly, bad boy. But look what happened, everything was dysfunctional. I get it. And there's dysfunctional families now. There's just levels of it, But at the end of the day, these two brothers, I'm really trying to have the heart for them. But, at the same time, now to go on the other side, I just thought of it. If you really, for those that think that these two kids are monsters, let me just talk to you about this, I guess. So, because I thought about it, technically they did say they studied, they wanted to become actors. They wanted to, they did Shakespeare, and they're they could kind of portray certain emotions. And I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe they are really monsters, okay? Because they're so good at, let's say, acting. So maybe it was so easy for them to hide their, their true intention and really act scared. Maybe they were crying, right? To show that, we're innocent, but maybe on the inside, maybe they are truly monsters. But think about it. If they were, I think what would happen in prison? I mean, I don't know what if they should have went on a killing spree? I think they should have, I'm so sorry. I think they should have, might have even committed suicide, because if you're a true monster, again, I don't know what it's like to be a monster, like to that level, but because we all have anger, we all have things that, that we don't like, something that triggers us. But, I get it. They could really be acting it out. Maybe when they're on trial, you see them, they're crying, they're just, they're trying to plead for help in a way, but maybe they are monsters. Maybe they just want to, be rich, and I get it. Their father already tainted them. And it's only right that genetic, that mindset is kind of flowing in them also, so it could be excusable up to a certain level, but I personally think, man, it was just their trauma, it was their abuse, it was their revenge. I get it that, they wanted to use that to get revenge and to get rid of the problem. They just thought, okay, we just got to get rid of mom and dad, because that's how bad it was. Again, there are families like this, man. Like, mom, dad, young mom, there's just so many situations you could go about it. But I just want to say that the Menendez brothers, they're good with me. I think I mean, of course, who am I? But I think they learned, at this point, they learned their lesson. And I'm not trying to say that, okay, let's just let them out in an easy way. No, they should still have some kind of, maybe some kind of barrier around him, in a sense, where there's always people watching, just in case, they didn't have parole. I think they should have had parole for what they've done, 30 plus years. But again, I'm not too into the law. I'm not going to act like I know the law ins and outs of it. So I think, at this point, man, like they've done their time. They've learned. The whole world knows about them, Now it's up to you, Governor. I hope you could, consider them. And you won't watch this video, but I'm acting like you're going to watch this video. So please, hopefully, they will be released. There will probably be more media behind it. And it's crazy though how they got famous. It was because of probably TikTok. These girls were like, oh my gosh, like they're so handsome. They're so like, like attractive. These guys are killers. They were kind of attractive. One didn't have hair, but like I think they were pretty attractive guys at that time. And so the TikTok thing rised up and social media picked it up. So at this point, man, we just want to see, I think they've done their time, minus the whole thing, how they done it with the fatal, deaths of their own parents. And other than that, man, like, I think there's no more to say in terms of just release them. Okay. So what are your thoughts? I know this is, again, just my thoughts and just what I've kind of, based on what I saw, again, I don't know everything. You don't know everything either. So we should just kind of be careful about it. And, there's just so many, who knows the truth? Only they know. Only the brothers know. Maybe they might not even be telling each other, but this was just my little 2 cents on it. I think the Menendez brothers are definitely going to go down in history. Netflix, the director, I think he did a pretty good job in terms of the dramatization. The cinematography was crazy. And let me tell you, before we end, episode 5, I think it was episode 5, when the attorney got Eric, sitting down, and she was basically just trying to get to know him. Man, the whole shot was just one shot. Just nothing happened. It was just the dolly just going in like this for 30 minutes. I said, whoa, that's pretty crazy. Like the director, his mind, and he did the Dahmer, right? And I didn't see Dahmer, but I know that's just as crazy. So I just wanted to say, I think he did a good job. Obviously, he might have not gotten it perfect. No one could get it perfect. But the point is, it's a dramatization. It's a movie. You need to go a little extra for a movie to be good, But I mean, shouts out to the director. I think he did an amazing job, and it got me hooked on it, And so therefore, I just want to know your thoughts, Comment below, man. Like, I know the Menendez brothers, there's so many, I'm pretty sure I missed some things, but there is a lot of evidence. There's a lot of things that are exposed already, and maybe I didn't catch it, but I think there's this pure and innocence in those brothers in a way. They're from Beverly Hills, or they grew up in Beverly Hills, man. Like, their environment really matters. There's killers out here, you know what I'm saying, in LA and everywhere that you probably have no idea about that are happening right now. There's things at this point far worse than a shotgun to the face. I promise you, there's far things worse. I'm not trying to go dark. I'm just trying to lay down the facts. It's scary, but I just want to end it with this. Sexual abuse is real, and if you're watching this and you've been a victim, or you are a victim now and you're kind of scared, I please, just, you need to get help. And I think you just need to start by finding the right people around you. If you don't have anybody, look online. There are so many help these days. If you just look online about victims of sexual abuse, rape, all these things, man. Like, I get it. It's scary. You don't know what to do. But if you're watching this, I just want to encourage you, okay? This is random. This was not in the script. But I just want to encourage you, and it's real. If you're a parent that are doing these type of things, you need to stop, okay? Because you may enjoy now, but things are gonna get worse only for you. So please, I know it's hard. We all need help. We're human. We make mistakes, but we need to stop and prevent. We need to prevent these things from happening, okay? And the key word is prevent. It's too late when you do it already. So, the whole point is, it really matters. What happens, you got to watch your kids. You got to obviously watch their environment, what they're doing, the people they're hanging out with. And as parents, I'm not trying to parent you. I'm not a parent, but obviously we got to be very careful. I know we can't really hold them down too much, but we can learn. Because I try to take things, I try to take something from these true events. I try to learn something from it, right? You don't just watch it to enjoy someone else's family getting, going down hell, basically. You try to learn from it. You try to have some kind of empathy and sympathy for them, because, man, like, again, if you haven't been through these type of situations, it's really hard for you to have a solid judgment. So, take care of yourself. Watch the Menendez Brothers. If you haven't watched it, if this is your first time and this is interesting and you've watched this far, thank you for watching, first of all. And I highly encourage you to watch it, check it out. Just have an open mind, okay? There's a lot of stuff that they show. It gets pretty detailed. It does get graphic, but just watch it with an open heart if you're mature enough. But if you're gonna play around with it, just be careful. Don't play around with it. You still just watch it, enjoy it. Let me hear your thoughts. Go ahead and comment below. You could cuss me out. You could say, oh yeah, I'm with you. Do whatever you want. It's all good. I'm just here, just chilling in Beverly Hills, doing this podcast for you. I hope this was an entertainment for you. And again, Menendez Brothers, it's a crazy story, man. Like, from what happened back then, it's crazy how it happened. Beverly Hills is safe now, or hopefully it's safe. Hopefully I'm out here. I see squirrels running around, and it feels kind of safe. So I think I should be okay. But just be careful. Take care of yourself. Take care of the people around you, because you never know, man. And especially the kids, man. We got to protect our kids, man, okay? So please let me know what your thoughts are. Comment what you think. Are these kids, are the brothers innocent? Are the brothers, yeah, they should just stay, rot in prison, whatever, and they should never be released? I want to know. And, we could do another video, and I just want to keep searching too, man. I'm gonna have my mind open. So please be on the lookout. Hopefully we can make another video so we could talk about it. Let me know what I got wrong, what I got right. If you agree or disagree, it's all good. Just let me know. Like this video so that you let me know that you like this. So, it does help, man. I ain't gonna lie. It encourages the person, okay? So if you want to see more, we're gonna talk about the most craziest things, whatever. We're going off the script, so it doesn't matter. We don't have a set thing, man. We're just gonna have fun and relax, just enjoy, and hopefully I could, be your entertainment, while you eat your food, while you're in the bathroom, okay? So again, like and subscribe. Please share it. Let a friend know, and let's just have a big party of talks. I love talking. That's why I could stay here. I could probably keep going. I could go on for more hours, but just let me know, man. And so thank you guys for joining to another episode of OTS. Please stay tuned for the next one. I'm going to see y'all later. Come join us, all right? Peace out.